that Ippei Mizuhara was a gambling addict who owed $4.5 million in theory to a bookie, and Shohei Ohtani paid that off for Ippei. Except the first thing I read is Ippei stole the money from Shohei Ohtani to pay off his bookie. Then I read that Ohtani knew about it and gave the money to Ippei. And then I read that Ohtani didn't actually know about it. And that was all from a source named Ippei. The craziest part of the story that's only going to get crazier and scarier for baseball is that the fired employee has two different stories on two different days. His first story is that he didn't bet on baseball. He only bet on soccer, NFL, NBA, Freudian slip. His first story is that Ohtani was aware and helped him pay off the debts because he asked Ohtani to help him. And that Ohtani directly paid the bookie because Ohtani didn't want to give him money for fear that he would gamble it away without paying his debts. But then the next day, or that day in Korea, who can tell? He said, no, Ohtani had no involvement at all. Ohtani didn't know I was betting. What changed in between those two stories? Baseball, Major League Baseball, did they or did they not have wind that the Los Angeles Times was doing an investigation into an illegal gambling ring in California? Did they or did they not know that ESPN was getting a 90-minute interview with the translator? Did Major League Baseball, once they found out that the translator gave the interview and implicated Ohtani, did Major League Baseball get involved and say, hold on, Dodgers, you're firing him. ESPN, you can't run that. Nez, the agent / spokesman, who's unnamed so far, but my bet is it's the agent, but we don't know. The spokesman is disavowing the original interview to ESPN where Ohtani gets implicated, saying, I have no idea what Mizuhara is even talking about. Like we're in a Jason Bourne movie. Or Mission Impossible. You are disavowed. Maybe it is like that. I wonder what Wesley Snipes and Sean Connery would have to say about this situation. Where Ippei, people are saying he's taking the fall for Ohtani. He is standing up like any respectful, proud Japanese man would do, and he will take the fall for his boss, his superior. That's one hell of an act to take. Is it unheard of in Japan? Maybe, maybe not. Is that really what's happening here? Can baseball really believe that in this day and age, we are all going to let it go? That Ippei acted on his own in the single bookie theory, where Ohtani had nothing to do with this, no knowledge of it of any kind? Why does that matter? Because it is against the rules for Ohtani to give money to a bookie under any scenario, period, because that's illegal gambling. It's against the law in California. Let's start with that. For him not to know the difference between DraftKings, a legitimate company, FanDuel, a legitimate company, and giving money to a bookie, is that really, does anyone believe that? And is it true if you don't believe one thing that some person says that you then have to investigate everything that person says? Or can there be independent mistruths, but Ohtani didn't bet at all? He gave the money or he didn't give the money. He knew or he didn't know. But either way, there was no betting on baseball. It's interesting that Major League Baseball wants it to be very clear, and everyone's been very clear to report there is no instance of any betting on baseball. Because can you imagine if Shohei Ohtani's translator was betting on baseball? That's Pete Rose, folks. That's endgame. You think baseball wants to suspend Shohei Ohtani? So what are they doing now? Baseball is meeting in Korea. They're watching a game, excited to fly home privately after the game, commercially in the morning, Korea time, trying to figure out how long they can go with, we have no comment because we are investigating the situation. Right now, they let the Dodgers lead with that and end with that, and I'm fine. The Dodgers are aware of media reports and are gathering information. There's only one bit of mistruth with that. The Dodgers aren't gathering information. MLB is gathering information. Remember when the Dodgers had to release a statement on Bauer or on Urias? It was all supportive of what MLB is doing, MLB's policies. The Dodgers simply in their statement confirmed that Ippei's been terminated. What they didn't say is that MLB is investigating. What I promise you here today, MLB is investigating. There are attorneys involved. There are U.S. attorneys. There's a criminal case involved here. There's an entire FBI involvement. You'll read about Yasiel Puig being involved because this is the same gambling ring that we covered on Nothing Personal that Yasiel Puig was implicated in and had to make sure that we all knew he had no idea that anything bad was going on. He was just placing some bets. MLB needs to protect Shohei Ohtani. Look at any other player on the Dodgers. Insert player name, not superstar. How different would things be with MLB right now? How different would the narrative be? How fast would MLB ask the Dodgers to release that player? How quickly would MLB stand up and say, this is absolutely unacceptable? How quickly would MLB have a statement saying we are investigating, but then leaking out major suspension coming? You and I both know how fast it would be. We know that superstars are treated differently. My argument and my point of view, as difficult as this will be for MLB to hear, is that when it comes to gambling and the integrity of the game, you cannot treat the superstar differently.